Metaverse and Web3, it really is a new digital world out there, one that can be terribly intimidating. In fact, we tend to use the term Metaverse and Web3 interchangeably, but they're not the same. So I thought we'd start by defining what they are and what the difference is.
So to give this a shot, I think, go back to like 1995, which is when the internet started appearing in our lives. Some of us were in school, some were not even born. And we felt like, what is this thing? Some fad, God knows what it is. And today, it's absolutely integral to everything we do. We cannot imagine a world without it. I think you can confidently walk out of here and say, 10 years down the line, back in the same room, we will all be experiencing the metaverse very much as a part of our lives. So it's definitely a huge technology disruption, like the next big thing. Now, a couple of things to remember. Numbers, it's about a $3 trillion economic opportunity that's going to emerge. But having said that, it's all not coming back to Meta, because the metaverse is an ecosystem. So it has your developers, the technologists. You have platforms like Meta. You have the creators who will actually use these platforms, and I'm sure Malini will touch upon it, to bring it alive. And brands like yourselves in the room to be able to work with creators, use these platforms, and unleash this whole ecosystem to make it work for you. The second thing I'd like to say is that to really simplify this down, or dumb it down, as I think Richa was saying, think of it as 3 steps. Metaverse, there's augmented reality, which is, let's call it phase 1, which is just the world around us becomes like a 3D canvas. Yeah, you have lots of filters and those kind of things which exist. The second, on the other end, is virtual reality. Very popular in the world of gaming, but now becoming much more mainstream and many different ways to experience it. And in between is what we call mixed reality. So you have these kind of magical experiences, but they can happen in front of you. So I think as brands, as we experience this, try and look at it as these 3 blocks, and technology will keep evolving and enhancing.
I was thinking about how to do this. So I'll tell you what they say is the simple explanation, okay, for Web3, which is hilarious because it's blockchain technology, decentralized, autonomous, organized, powered by cryptocurrency and NFTs, and this means nothing to anyone. So I'm going to simplify it for you. The best way to understand Web3 is to take it back to Web 1 and Web 2. Web 1 were read-only websites, which was basically the information economy. Web 2 is when social media came along and you had read-write. So you could put up pictures, you could do social media, you could connect peer-to-peer. Web 3 is read, write, and own. And the reason why Web 3 is so exciting now is because people have realized that in Web 2, there are a couple of problems. There are a couple of big players who kind of own everything, and they own all your content. So in Web 3, the simple but complicated description is that it's the internet owned by the users. So I'll give you a really simple real life case scenario. For right now, suppose you're playing a video game and you've spent lots of money on it. If the makers of the game decide to shut it down, all the money you spent on Candy Crush piggy banks is gone with it, right? However, in Web 3, anything you own becomes an NFT, a non-fungible token. So you continue to own it. So sometime in the future, you might have a Netflix subscription. You don't have to cancel it. You can sell it to someone else because you own it forever. And now there are the front end, which is sort of the immersive virtual front end of Web3, which is the metaverse, where you can go and have a virtual avatar and you can trade in all of these goods and you can have your shops, and that's where all of this is going to live. And what's really exciting about Web3 is that there are sort of real universes and lands there now. So there's Sandbox and what was Second Life. And so, for instance, Snoop Dogg has his parties or Paris Hilton have their parties. So it's a limited amount of land that you can own, but it's decentralized, which basically means that no one person controls that economy anymore.
I come from a group which is a group and a brand which is 154 years of age. So I guess I can say safely that we were born in the pre-digital world and certainly in the pre-Web3 world. But having said that, yes, I think it's extremely important for brands, including the brands as old as the Tata brand, to be present where consumers are, to be present where the ecosystem is, and clearly the world is going the digital way. And the world is going the Web3 and Metaverse way. So should brands experiment? Of course we should experiment. Of course we should be there, notwithstanding any glitches that may come up during the early stages of experimentation.
My daughters are 15 and 14. In COVID, 3 years ago, all of their friends were on Roblox and Fortnite. It's just disappeared today. It's Instagram, Snap, Be Real. Okay. It doesn't mean that it's not coming. It's accelerated behaviors which we're seeing globally. If you look at that report from Wonderman Thompson into the Metaverse, by the way, all brands should look at this report. Very, very comprehensive in terms of consumer attitudes towards all of these different technologies. The amount of time we are going to spend in the future is real. I think the key is going to be that unlock moment. We all know that the transformative power of the metaverse is there for brands, but for consumers to really join in, what's that unlock moment going to be? I don't think it's happened as yet in India for Gen Z. It's certainly happening around the world. So if anybody can guess, Nike, what is their revenue from the metaverse? Any guesses? $187 million. So clearly they've unlocked something. So whether it's Nike Land and the merchandise that they're selling there, or Artifact, all of the different collabs that they're doing. Gen Z, I think, in the US, in Korea, some in China, there the unlock moments have happened on gaming platforms and entertainment. I read that Ariana Grande's last concert had 1 million people. Now that's a physical barrier that you can't transcend. It's a barrier you can't transcend physically. When those kind of applications, I think, come to the fore, there'll be a huge unlock. It's just going to take that one tipping point, and they're all going to be there.